And there we go. So, who wants to just remind us all where last we left off at the end of last session?
We do a rolly.
We do a rolly in the chat.
We do a rolly.
We do a
Like
rolly.
rolly. I want to type rolly and for it to work.
New command required.
Oh
Oh,
wow!
Jesus
What are these
Christ.
rolls?
So that's a 6, 5, and a 5. You guys are speedrunning this. Here comes Idris at the finish line. There's the one.
One. Yes.
Wait, hang on. Does that work? Because you've typed after it. Does that really work?
Let me see.
Yeah.
Rolling
It
1d20 the
will.
stone.
It will work.
Oh wow,
It
okay.
will always work because whatever
Oh.
comes after it is like chat talk.
I see. Oh, yep.
It picks up the code at the start and then you can type whatever.
Fantastic. Okay. Right. Well,
So,
taking it back. So Lothar, take it away.
previously, because whatever passes for a mage's guild and Phineas's excuse of a nice, orderly, lawful town managed to transport us exactly where we wanted to be, and by that I mean exactly where we didn't want it to be, at the top of a mountain surrounded by giants, in the middle of a blizzard, where I nearly died. It took them a second shot. It still landed us, not particularly on the mark, but close enough, and nothing was killing us around at the, second time around. We took a bit of time to, tend to our wounds, see what our plan was moving forward. And as we were looking for a campsite, lo and behold, we found the entrance to what looked like mine, possibly a smuggler's den somewhere. And we were debating whether we should actually go into the mine or smuggler's den, or, wait the night, have some rest, and then start early in the morning. So Lothar says as he's writing down in his travel log.
Indeed. Anyone have anything further they wish to add? Very well then.
Oh, I do. When we entered the place, the dwarven place, glamours were dispelled on all of us, including Ariel, and she showed her true form for the first time to the others. And when she tried to shift into a new form again, it failed. So yeah, for the dwarves it feels like home. For Ariel, it's like not comfortable.
Well, as the group moments ago stepped through this door that had slid open with the lighting of a brazier, you felt this rush of air escaping. Cold, yet somehow a warm feel, a musky, a thick-laden atmosphere. But as you look out below, overseeing
Sure.
a huge descent into just straight darkness with various lights illuminating all the way down. At a closer glance, if I recall last time you had some pretty bad perception rolls on this, but this time as you look out and just let your eyes adjust to the darkness, the void, you can see there are hanging in pulley systems, almost like swing seats that seem to be going up and down, scattered at all different kind of elevations, on the wall below you, on the wall opposite you, almost as far left as you can see, and almost as far right as you can see, each mounted with their own overhead lantern, and each one illuminating a singular individual sat in a chair with some kind of hand tool making his way against the wall surface that he rests upon, or they rest upon. As you step forward, you realize to your right, about 10 feet away, is a very large contraption. Evidently, you've seen one of these before. These are vertical elevators, one at the very top of the harbour in the Golden Keep. A bit smaller than that one, but you can see the recognizable pulley system. You notice it does seem to have a little bit of height available if this was to go up, but you get the impression that most of the mine lays down before you. What does the party do?
So do we go down? Do we wait? Do we rest? We sure this is even the place, or are we just getting sidetracked, Torbran? What do you think?
Your guess is as good as mine. I guess we'll just have to ask.
Ask
really
who?
fancy.
Are we sure if whoever we find here isn't just going to start throwing rocks at us?
No. Do you have a better plan?
No. Well, we could rest first.
What do you mean by resting?
I mean, setting up camp and sleeping.
You want to set up camp after you've just entered the mine? What, you want me to just plunk down a campfire here?
On the wooden strutted outpost that you are standing upon,
There's a-
overlooking this view.
I don't think
There's
it's
no-
even been long enough for us to sleep, to be honest.
I mean, you've probably been awake for like 3 or 4 hours total.
Yeah, exactly.
Well,
I can go like, but I'm not sleepy.
true, but I did probably have several cracked ribs.
Oh no, my apologies.
just
I
a few minutes
realized
ago.
we actually hit late evening, so it's
We
late.
did?
Yes, you spent quite a while commuting around, looking on the outside.
That is
Oh,
correct.
okay,
yeah.
okay. Yeah.
So we can just step outside, set up camp, set up a watch, sleep, continue
Is
this
there-
when we're rested.
Is there anyone who has noticed us?
Make a perception roll. On a 9, you look out over. You just hear the occasional sound of a pick hitting stone, scratching, echoing up through this chamber. Nothing seems to be interrupting the slow, casual rhythm to that beat for the time being.
What does the rest think?
I would stay up at least a little longer.
I could always scream down. Say hello.
Yeah.
I
I mean, I've got my pickaxe. I can mine with them.
Is there any dwarf nearby to us?
Probably about 100 feet down and maybe 50 feet to your right.
You know. I will just look over the edge and I will just start shouting, "Hello? Who's in charge here?"
Oh, you gotta do it like this.
I use thaumaturgy to boom my voice louder.
Hello down there. It's your friendly dwarfs here.
And for everybody else, if you shout your voice into an enclosed room that has no dampeners, no fabrics, no soft walls, just hard stone casing. You could expect some kind of echo. Then when you use thaumaturgy to increase the decibel range of said shout, and the feedback loop is insane.
Great.
After the
See,
echo
that's
rings
how you
through
do
your
it, Dublin.
ears, you can see all the lights immediately begin moving in various directions. There is no longer the sound of mining. There is the sound of contraptions, gears whirring, cogs moving, chains rattling, but no pick-on stone action anymore. None of them seem to be moving towards you. In fact, they all seem to be cowering away from you as various lights begin snuffing out, revealing only darkness but a moment later.
Oh, this is great. I still think we should go outside and wait.
Are you bloody old man?
Hey, I was showing you how to shut down the hole.
Well, at least they know we're here. And I hope they're
I
smart
said
enough
we
to.
were friendly.
Yeah, that's what anyone who's unfriendly would also say. I mean, if I wanted to rob somebody blind, I wasn't going to announce myself as robbing them blind. Well, let's just hope they're smart enough to realize that if we had harbored any ill will, we would have tried to stay silent when we got close.
Well, I guess our only option now is to just go downwards and see if we can find someone.
All right. Lead the way, Torbjorn.
Is there any walkway going down from where we are, or is it just an elevator?
It's quite a strange scenario for you because you would normally expect a grandiose winding staircase at least down to a perimeter or at least into a watchtower of some sorts in at least established dwarven strongholds. This feels far more recent, slapdash sewn together, and there is literally just this small little wooden, as you begin to actually properly assess it, barely holding together landing that you find yourself upon, but the walkway only leads down to the elevator.
Oh, I sure as hell hope this elevator is not gonna get us killed.
Yeah, that makes
All
two
right,
sense.
off we go. Ariel, would you mind? Do your lights work?
Lights?
The dancing lights.
Yeah,
Do they work
sure.
here though?
I don't know. I'll try. I try casting dancing lights.
I'd say you're still pretty close to the area in which you've been trying repeatedly to cast spells and realize now the spells now obey you. And a small set of your dancing
Okay.
lights appears.
Nice. Okay, so we have light.
As the party makes their way over to the elevator, which way do you pull the lever? To go up or down? As you
Let's
look
try
up,
up first.
there's no light illuminating a way, but you just see the chains that hold this elevator in place go up into the darkness above you. Okay. As you
Let's try up first.
ascend, you clamber and hear the scrape of wood on metal as the rivets that this elevator sort of hold itself in place by creak with the motion of the climb of the weight of your party. The echoing chains rattle out low below you, echoing back to you. Not to the same extent the thaumaturgy was, but still pretty noticeable. A minute passes. The ascent continues steady, ricketing. Another minute goes by, and another. Before coming into distance above you, into sight, you can see a flickering of low-level light bouncing off the wall above you, illuminating a sort of ceiling. And as you begin to get closer, those of you with dark vision will be able to identify that it's where the elevator stops and comes to an end. But as you realize you're ascending into what seems to be some kind of alcove or floor in the ceiling above you all. Two or 3 minutes later, the elevator reaches its end. And as you ascend up into this, you've entered into an enclosed, what would be room space, no more than 15 feet by 15 feet. As you have the opportunity to step off this elevator onto a ledge, you can see yourself a recognizable dwarven archway with two wall-mounted lanterns locked, and standing before each of them, two heavily clad, unmistakably recognizable dwarven guardsmen holding halberds and a great, from their perspective, tower shield. One of them has his head turned to the side, clearly talking to the other one, as the other one seems to be sort of coming to from a sleep, rousing himself and nudging the other one, nodding his head in your direction as the party approaches. As you step off the elevator, it immediately begins to descend once more, though very quickly out of sight. First dwarf approaches the one who's just woken up. Says, "What's your... sorry, we don't get many visitors this way. Who are you, and how did you get here?"
Apologies for the ruckus down below, that one. The old bloke. Name's Thorbrand. Rumbleshot. I'm looking for a dwarf by the name of Gus Lighthorn.
He looks to the other one. "Are we expecting any supply runs this month?" The other one shrugs. It's like, I'll have to ask you to wait here." And as
No
he
problem.
knocks on the side of the wall, you watch as the wall slowly gives way in the archway, as it immediately opens, just as similarly you've witnessed two doors do the same now. And you see a long corridor of well-illuminated sconces all along the side. This is what you immediately recognize, Torbran, as effectively a dwarven stronghold. And this would be its entry point. You see various portcullises open left at the top, dipping down from the ceiling as the guard begins to make his way through. It's a good 100 feet before he disappears off out of sight to the left. The other one just standing there looking at you, seemingly a little disgruntled, but saying nothing.
Is it a younger or an older dwarf?
You can make an insight check, but you are looking at a heavily armored guard in full dwarf, full face helmet. So the only thing you're seeing here really is a protruding beard.
17.
With a 17, that's a respectable length on the beard. It's at least, 2.5 feet long, though you're not quite sure, and as you've not heard him speak properly, he's full height, but you're not too sure at this point.
You okay?
Yeah.
You seem a little hazy.
Well, in 5 years, you're the first people who've come through the elevator.
Huh.
So you've set up this whole base 5 years ago?
No, my sentence started 5 years ago.
Sentence?
Well,
What is this place exactly?
but it's a small mining operation.
A lot of that going around.
I chuckle.
Woof woof, met pigeon.
No normal dwarven mining operation has prisoners for its guard. Oh. Not to mention using prisoners as your guard is woefully inefficient.
Well, you see, I tried to say that, but apparently ordering the wrong food for the lady is sentenciable for 15 years at the rear door.
Which lady?
The only one that matters.
You have a name?
Lady
Or
Cragkeep.
is this lady? Is that a name I would be familiar with?
You can make a history roll.
Eh,
On a 15, doesn't ring any bells to you.
Correct, Deep.
Keep.
Don't think I've heard that. Oh, correct. Keep.
Yep.
I don't believe I've heard that name before.
Well,
Where's she hail from?
clearly not from around here, then you are.
Well, just like you probably originally from the Earth, huh?
No?
Then again,
Born here.
Hmm?
I was born here.
so we have a youngling.
I'm
I
old
see.
enough. That's what they told me at the sentencing.
Would I know if for sentencing they would have a certain age cutoff for
Yeah.
being a minor?
Like, minors is like 50 years and you're kind of like 10. And then, if you're 75 to 100, it's now you're kind of in that bracket of proper eligibility for adult responsibilities and punishments.
Well, I guess for us dwarves, anything, at least for me, anyone born beyond the shattering or the ruination was. You're just a little lad to me at that point. I respect you sitting out your sentence here.
Just shifts awkwardly.
So who's in charge here?
Cragkeep.
Exactly. That's the name Phineas gave you, right?
Nope. I'm looking for Gus Lighthorn. Does that name ring a bell?
Don't know. My memory's kind of fuzzy these days.
Oh, Torm's holy name.
How long do you think the other, your guardmate will be?
I'll be impressed if he's back. Any excuse to not have to serve time.
Well, you could just show us around then. Keeps you off the door as well.
No one's allowed in.
Why
without
is that?
permission.
Well, your guardmate was I assume, also sentenced to be at the back door, just went in without permission.
Right, no, well, we're allowed in. He like points to himself and gestures to the other one. But
Which means
you're
I will
outsiders.
interrupt him. Which means you'll be able to guide us through because you're allowed in. Consider us friendly
Are you
visitors.
really trying to make a persuasion roll here?
Yeah.
I'll give you a
Oh, have you
disadvantage.
I'm one of you, a minor, you see. Look at me, I'm sentenced to 5 days.
Do you want the roll?
Yeah, still disadvantage. He
Yeah.
doesn't seem to be buying the assist.
It's
A natural one.
It's a dirty one. No,
It's a dirty one. It's a dirty one. Okay. Goodness me. On a dirty one for your persuasion, he just doesn't respond to you, but instead takes a stride to his left and stands in the doorway and attempts to look menacing.
Attempts.
I'll sort of chuckled. Yeah. All right, have it your way. What is the
Oh,
floor
look
made
at
out
the
of here?
pure baby.
You are now
Is-
in the stone of earth of a mountain. Like it's solid stone that you are stood on. This is a tunnel carved inside of the mountain now.
Idris, you wanted to take a break? I guess it's
Nope.
lunchtime.
Who?
Not
I don't
everybody.
see an elevator going down.
Not
There's
everyone.
one doorway that we're not allowed to go into because Mr. Grumpy
Not
Pants
everyone
here.
from the Dominions, Sir Idris. You know that, right?
Sir Lothar. I bet.
My
This is what 2
virtues.
weeks sentence does.
It's just a really common name in the Dominion, you know?
Yes, indeed. Idris the first, Idris the second, Idris the 13th.
Exactly.
Everybody's got one.
No. It's just one popular song, and suddenly it's all the names they know.
Well, actually, it was
That's-
the most popular baby name in one particular year.
Hey,
Yeah.
Mr. God, enough from you. You're supposed to look menacing. Right?
You got a sentence to serve.
Okay, that was actually from the DM, but sure, the the guard is looking at you like, oh, fine, whatever.
I will start a campfire, and I believe, let's see, I have some preserved drake rations that I will just start cooking up.
Okay, so in this enclosed space, you begin a fire. You realize where the smoke's going to go.
Yes,
Okay.
the ceiling.
Which is like 5-10 feet. Sorry, above where you are. It's a good like between 5 and 10 feet above you.
Is the wood above?
No, it is an entirely on the exterior of this. If you're in effectively a small contained chamber, which just has a hole in the ground where the elevator came from, and next to it there's a switch on the wall. Facing opposite that is this dwarven archway, which leads into what you can see is then dwarven structure carved into the side of this cave, this tunnel.
Is that door still open, or is the door closed?
The door's open, and he's just stood in the middle of it. It's about a 6-foot tall doorway, and probably about
I'll make
8 feet
I'll make
wide.
a campfire.
Okay.
There should be some sort of air circulation going through that stronghold.
As you begin setting up, the guard is going to object immensely. Just, what are you doing?
Well, it doesn't seem to involve you guarding that door, so none of your business.
I'm guarding this whole area, and he points to the room that you're in.
We're
Making sure
just setting up a little bit of makeshift camp while we wait. We've traveled quite a bit.
Well, don't
If
light
it's
don't
look-
light a fire in here.
Yeah, why is
Oh.
that,
Well, the gas.
by the way? Oh, so you have some sort of gaseous byproduct of what you guys mine?
Yeah, and he just lets out a really wet one.
Oh my god.
Amazing. Amazing.
Although then again,
Yeah.
that might actually help making the fire.
Can't imagine why they
No.
can't imagine why they sent you guarding the gate.
On that note, if you're guarding this whole area, I thought I saw something suspicious on the wall there next to the elevator coming up.
Really?
I
How many legs did it have?
too many to count. You might want to check it out.
He looks at you with like a bit of sincerity in the eyes that you can see in the helmet, and just says, "You probably want to step away from the entrance then."
You've got pest trouble.
We call them crawlers. They don't come near light, but you don't want to go near darkness.
I see.
Hence the campfire. Like I said, maybe you should check it out before someone gets hurt coming up the elevator.
You don't really go beyond where you're standing right now, because they've got a long reach.
Well, quite the guardsman you are. Hiding behind your shiny wall. I assume his armor is not that shiny.
No,
I'm
it's
gonna
fully dust covered.
I'm gonna redo dancing lights to keep light around us in that
Okay.
case.
The orbs just illuminating as you're perusing. What's everybody else doing whilst you're re-upping the lights? Tobin's making a fire.
Sir Lothar is just scribbling in his journal and travel log again.
I'll go look at the stone archway and just like use me stone cunning to have a look at the wall.
Okay. Can you remind me which one that is?
I believe that's history with a
Yeah,
10.
history. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Is it with advantage?
Yes,
By
that's what
default.
stone cunning makes the history check specifically for stonework. Advantage.
Okay. So on a 22, this is old dwarven design. This reminds you of some designs of Eartha, but not the sprawling megacities, more the oldest outpost. The bits that, from your memory, you would know that Eartha would have the oldest parts, the least upkept, was usually for dungeons and storage facilities, and that's what this sort of masonry reminds you of. Dating this to several, a good sort of 2,000-3,000 years old.
Damn, this place is old.
Isn't every place old?
Now that you mention it, I hadn't even looked at it that way. That reminds me, actually, the door that we came in through, probably also roughly that old then. Lothar, what's the oldest family you remember?
That I remember that I learned about.
The ladder.
That would be the House of Valaton from back when it wasn't a Dominion, it was called Arling. There's some remnants of them still around.
And how long ago would that be?
Time of the First Crusade. Actually, went back to the founding of the older Crusader kingdom. So I don't know, maybe 2,000 years.
Well, that's about the time that this stronghold was. Just to
So
give some
perspective. Huh. That's quite a
Your
lot.
history books are art today.
Now, he goes a bit pensive. But these ruins could have actually seen the first crusade. The very first one, the first demon invasion.
Well, I
Wonder.
doubt these ruins have seen that much, considering they're still standing after all this time.
Uh, demons don't really tear stonework down. It's the flesh that take issue with. So,
Point taken.
if they can't eat it, maybe they scratch it, but that's as far as they go. There were stories of when the Crusader army slowly started moving back into the wastelands, they'd find entire towns almost untouched, except for the piles of limbs and half-eaten corpses.
It's about at that sentence you finish, as I would say, Torbrun, you're the most perceptive of the group. And Voldreth, you sort of see this out the corner of your eye, but above the archway, or more specifically in the center of the archway, in the actual, almost in the ceiling of this room, this chamber, you watch as a blue sphere materializes. It seems to wobble, change its shape slightly, almost like an eye trying to focus, before it moves ever so slightly, but in place in the wallway. And then it vanishes. And you can see behind where it was, there's an etching of an eye within a triangle above in the doorway, which slowly recedes back to create a smooth surface, and it's completely gone from sight.
What in the blimey?
Don't tell me you're still surprised by all of this arcane stuff happening.
Well, no.
Pretty much everyone and their pet cat nowadays can pull some sort of arcane tricks from their sleeves.
Yes, arcane tricks, but not necessarily that.
Oh, I have no idea what it is, so could easily be an arcane trick. Reading about the time before all of this, the time before Ruination, most people would go their entire lives without seeing a single finger waggler. Not once. And if somebody could wield any sort of, arcane or elemental magic, at least a Gnarling, they'd be visited by the Order of the Tower soon enough.
Oh, well, they could visit me then, the dwarf chimes up as you watch his two gauntlet hands clamber together, and he just pieces together what looks like a piece of stringy bacon. He begins to eat it.
Oh, nothing special about that anymore. Not in this time.
You see the words cut through, and his sort of posture shrinks a little bit, and then goes back to leaning on the wall.
When's the last time you had some actual food?
Holds up the conjured food that you identify.
Well, that's what you call food, then.
I
I don't know
assume by
what's
now
worse,
you've got
your
your
guard
fire
duty.
running. Are you prepping a meal? Is that what you're doing?
Yeah, I still have 5 preserved drake rations. Considering we are with 4 and there's a guard, I will use up all 5.
Okay. The smoke that emits from this fireplace. At first, it billows up directly above you, where you perhaps expected it to take the path of least resistance or at least follow some kind of air current. Instead, it is running along the ceiling and then back down the wall to where the elevator came from and is dissipating out below you.
Is that like a normal path, or is it because of the cave or whatnot?
The guard observing this seems to be a little on edge.
Yeah, Lothar's gonna take one good look at the guard and just preemptively, calmly, not in an aggressive manner, towards the dwarf. Draw his long sword and look around.
Perhaps you all should just take a step closer towards me, but don't go past me.
Yeah, don't have to ask me twice.
Yeah, I'll
I am
approach
not
them.
abandoning this almost ready preserved Drake. I will just sort of.
Oh, fine! All spirit guardians, come forth!
And I'll choose all the allies and the guard to be safe from my spirit guardians.
What's the radius of that?
It is 15-foot radius.
That completely fills the room with. Describe your spirit guardian shape.
They are little, well, I'm good. So the little angelic dwarfs with a
Okay,
book and little hammers.
little hammers. Okay.
Aww.
As the space fills with them, upon summoning, Lothar takes a step towards the dwarf. Torbjorn is just cooking.
I will ready my gun while I'm sort of sitting
Yeah, you
with my
you
legs
cock it.
crossed.
It's just across your lap.
Yeah.
Yeah, you cock it. Torbjorn, you swear for a split second the smoke almost had like a face in it. Voldreth, please can you roll damage for your guardians?
The things need to make
They
there's a
failed.
save. Oh, okay. 17
17
necrotic.
points of damage.
No, wait,
as
it's radiant. Sorry.
radiant. As every one of the little wiggy dwarfs in this room jettison like lightning in towards the smoke, and you just hear this as like lightning zapping 1,000 times, and then you just hear crackling echoing around this room. The dwarf is readying his halberd and crossing it into a slot on his tower shield and standing behind it, so he's like holding his weapon like this.
So we're gonna get some fun after all.
Ah, I've told you not to light the fire. Torbjorn, I need you
Well,
to make a dexterity saving throw, please.
a dexterity save. 25.
Voldreth, I'd like you to roll damage again, please. As the little, I'll call them dwarf cherubs for this benefit, go once again flying into the smoke, though this time not hugging the back wall, much closer, as you realize the smoke itself, almost like a black void, is encroaching into the space. Some kind of mass reaches out and attempts to grab at you, Torbjorn. Upon failing to do so, you watch as your cooking pot or your cooking wok is grabbed from the fireplace and disappears into the smoke.
No, no, no. I will just.
Sorry, please redo that without Discord completely suppressing you. That's the first time I've seen your mic go red.
No!
There we go. Does Torbjorn go into
I
the
will-
smoke after it?
I will chase
No.
after it with my gun ready.
Okay,
No,
Hey!
run!
Torbjorn disappears into
I-
the billowing smoke.
I run after him.
You bear in mind, you say run. There is 10 feet in this room for where you can all
Okay.
move before you are where you would be at that great big hole where the elevator.
I take a step after him and attempt to pull him back.
You plunge your hand into the darkness. You feel a mass. You grab it.
Yes.
Okay. Tobin, you feel a tug on your back.
It's a crock pot.
I
Mountaineer.
will
Not
shoot
worth
while I
dying
get.
over.
I will shoot my shotgun while I'm
Okay.
being dragged out.
Go ahead and Roll damage.
That would be a dexterity save on the creature's end.
It failed.
Okay. Then it's 15 piercing damage.
Okay. Is resistant to piercing. This is going to really mess with the recording. I'm going to have to swap over my headset in an hour or so. Well, not even that because my battery's running low. Anyway, so where do we get? You rolled that. You rolled the damage. 15 damage. Okay, resistant. Sure. As you fire, the spark illuminates a shape directly in this black void of smoke around you, Torbran. How terrifying does a creature have to be in your face for you to probably take a sanity point? I'll make the description. You tell me if Torbran is stalwart enough to not be caring. As the light illuminates, the flare, the muzzle flash, you see eyes illuminated in this. A dozen eyes on one kind of mass as you watch as a maw is open. And you can see as almost like this kind of jaw is splitting down the middle and then itself splitting again. And you can just see rows upon rows upon rows of teeth. There's no torso to say, there's no neck to speak of, but you can see almost like mandibles. But there's about 8 of them, all slowly reaching in your direction around you. This thing is filling the space of the floor to ceiling in here and is not towering over you, but encompassing itself around your mass. That's what you see. Would Torben take a point of psychic damage? Of the sanity point? Or is he like,
Yes.
I've seen worse?
I will for now, depending on what we end up with
Sure.
at the end of this. At this point in time, I will take a point of sanity.
As the shadow crawler is revealed, the bullet shot pierces into the mass itself. You can see dark ichor begin to drip as you once again watch as all the dwarves zap their radiant damage into this entity. It seems to cry out in resistance to them frustratingly as it then begins, as you realize in one of the mandibles that it's sort of holding towards the right of it, as you can smell. Unfortunately, your Drake rations nowhere to be seen, but you can just about see your cooking pan. What do? You have one action before you're pulled out of this entity.
Right, so I just shot.
Yep.
And I now have one action.
Yep.
But Lothar is pulling me back.
Lothar was grabbing at you, and then Lothar's going to pull you out, so you get a second.
Right, okay.
Whilst you're thinking about that, Baldreth, what are you doing?
I'm currently concentrating on my guardians.
Okay. Ariel, what do you do? As by the way, as that muzzle flash goes off, all of you see this creature illuminated for a split second.
Oh, I'm adding
Uh,
sanity point.
I feel like I'd cast magic missile at it.
Go ahead.
It's I need to click this two more times. So yeah.
What's the roll? It's a...
1d4 plus 1 force.
Oh, it just hits.
And you have 3 darts. Yeah,
there's
it just
no,
hits.
there's no
It just
roll.
hits. Yeah.
No roll. It's magic.
Okay, and it's force. Okay.
Yeah.
You watch as each of the darts. What's the color of the missiles?
Similar to the light she usually makes. Like it's pinkish,
Okay.
reddish, purplish.
As the
Those
pink
colors.
is shot off 3 missiles. Just before, as soon as they enter that space, that smog, their light is completely like absorbed. You feel they made an impact as much as you think. The mandibles respond aggressively, taking such damage. As Torbjorn, we come back to you.
Is it just an action that I have, or also a bonus action?
You have a round, just only once every
Okay.
minute to make. So
I will just shoot my shotgun again.
okay,
Now that I've seen the target.
cock it.
20 piercing damage on a field save. He has disadvantage on the save.
Matters not. Damage goes through. Resistant.
All right. I'll use my subclass feature to use the recoil to blast myself back 5 feet without
Okay.
causing opportunity attacks. And then
So
I will shoot again. But let's do the movement first.
Sure
What
thing.
happened?
So Silova, as you sort of are grabbing on Torbjorn, this dwarf, as you're suddenly like fighting against the weight as he's leaning inwards, you just feel the motion immediately change, and he's now moving you 5 feet back.
Oops! Thanks for the soft landing.
Maybe
I
not
will.
rush into dense fog next time, Mountaineer.
And I will shoot again with the slug for a 19 on attack.
19, okay. That's also piercing, yeah?
That's bludgeoning. That's the attack roll.
Oh, the attack, that hits.
Okay. That would be 15 bludgeoning.
15 bludgeon, okay. God, you guys rack up damage so fast. Another damage roll, please, for the cherubs.
Whoa.
Ooh.
18. Oh my god, okay.
These are so good rolls.
With the 3 quick successive rounds, the shotgun avalanche echoing out, you watch as the dwarf has not moved, standing in exactly the same place in the doorway as he was, and combined with all of the radiant damage, you would watch as the smoke begins to withdraw down the hole quite rapidly. Before you look around and just with the last, almost like a parting gift, there's a quick gust and the fire is extinguished.
How big of a problem do you guys have with those things?
The dwarf sort of looks at you and goes, well, if you don't make noise, you don't invite them up, not really a problem. It wasn't going to come any closer to us than, well, here, as he points towards sort of just in front of where he stood, as you realize that's very much in line with the 2 light sources on the exterior of this dwarfen archway.
So do they or don't they like light?
No, they don't like the light at all. Although, what's that? You look over in the point to where he's pointing in the corner of the room. You can see your upside down wok, seemingly discarded or dropped because of the damage that it took in the exiting attacks.
That walk is indestructible.
If you,
My walk!
because I'm saying in that one round there was a damage threshold, you guys just hit it for it to drop whatever it was carrying. It was supposed to be a player, but I was like, well, he didn't get you. He's going to get the other thing. So the walk, you retrieve it quickly from the edge. It's about this point You hear heavy armored footprints echoing from the chamber down the open portcullis hallway. It's like in sync yet echoing. And turning down onto the hallway, you see a procession of much shinier armored guardsmen heading in
Is
your
Spirit
direction.
Guardian still active?
Spirit Guardians is Voldreth?
Has it been 10 minutes?
Nope.
Then they're still
Not
active.
even one yet.
Oh God,
Okay.
no!
As the guards begin to walk down this corridor, you watch as the first one succeeds on the wisdom saving throw. The second one fails. The third
Oh
one
no!
succeeds. At this point, seeing one of them stop, no more will keep going forward. And the other one will just, I've got pins and needles. What the hell?
Oh, sorry. I'll stop concentrating now. Jesus Christ.
Oh, what was
I
that?
see a monster. Must have been the wind.
You watch as the younger dwarf who's been keeping station here steps aside and stands as close to the light as he can, but out of the way of the doorway. Filling this very small space and slowly pushing you guys back towards that drop, just in the volume. There's at least a dozen dwarves, heavily armored. You can hear a slight out of breath as deep breaths are being taken in this room. They're all stood waiting, looking at you all. Before you
Torbran?
hear echoing from down the chamber, in Dwarven, attention! To everyone else who doesn't speak Dwarven. It's something guttural. I'm not going to attempt it. My throat's still not recovered. As they
Well,
all
finally some
immediately
people that we
turn
can talk to.
sideways and let pass a figure who begins walking down the corridor. This individual, helmetless yet wearing a very similar style of armor to the rest of these individuals, a short golden cloak behind him, and he's walking like he owns the place. A dwarf whose beard is almost as long, touching his feet. Not greyed, but silvered. The hair goes back over his shoulder. No weapons noticeable at this point, though, Torben, you would be more familiar with sort of brandishing weaponries might not always be the best thing, even if it's ceremonial. And then sort of looking at this armament, you recognize on the back, you can just see sticking out a pair of handles, one on the left and one on the right side. But as he walks down the corridor, he shouts out in Dwarven, "Who dares trespass on the rear entrance to the stronghold?"
It's
Rear
not a.
entrance.
Yeah, this is in Dwarven, Silova.
Oh, sorry.
Apologies, we didn't mean to hit you on your rear entrance. We were sort of stranded on the beach here, and we found this entryway. At well, you know, the dwarf run though. It's not that hard to get into here as a dwarf.
He looks at you with a glare, you uttering these very words in the company of non-kin. Though you are
In
speaking in
Dwarven.
Dwarven, it's almost like, hey, look, I know we're speaking another language, but you don't give the password out, even if we're speaking another language.
Don't worry, you could. They were there when I. Doesn't matter. Name's Torben Rumbleshot. I'm here on business from Phineas Steel Sprocket. Looking for Gus Lighthorn. Are you familiar? Can you help us?
Figures. Are you accomplices of Gus?
No, me personally. I'm a good friend of Phineas who supposedly has contacts with this Gus. We're looking to set up a supply line of galvanium alloy.
An interesting tale. He now begins to start saying this in common. And to you two, traveling with these two homeless,
Mm, I'm listening.
no, he's looking at you expectantly, asking you to explain yourself, saying that you're traveling with the two homeless dwarves.
Oh, uh, we are a party of mercenaries that was contracted by a certain Phineas of Port Kiln to seek you out and establish some sort of a trade route of some sort of alloy that he needs.
And you,
Myself,
what are you?
Um, I'm a healer. I travel with them to keep them safe.
Have you been constantly trying to shift your visage like this
Not
entire time?
constantly, and at this point she would have given up trying, but she did at first, definitely, more than once.
So there is actually a point. Would she have given up before she completed the elevator ride?
Probably yes.
Fair enough. Okay. So you're in your natural form.
Yeah, she just assumes that the whole place is with a magic
Dancing light
thingy
work.
on it.
Yep.
Yeah, it did. But her effect isn't necessarily magical. It comes from within, so she
Ah,
just assumes it doesn't work. It's not like a spell she casts.
Mhm.
Hmm.
So he looks
I
at you.
know, my friend just said we were looking for you, but
You've
we're
spoken.
looking for Gus.
I was asking you. Points to you, Ariel.
Like I said, I'm a healer. I travel with them.
Where are you from?
The Feywild.
I just that is muttered, echoing around this dozen bodies in this room. And you all watch as a very uncomfortable atmosphere settles in this chamber.
Yeah, she doesn't lie about this ever. You'll notice.
The Dowie stood before you. I would probably say, Torbrun, you can actually probably see a little bit of sweat just start to trickle down his brow. Though the toughened exterior and visage he is portraying steadies himself and then says, escort this one.
Where?
Uh, the lady will see you.
Okay. She'll just be led away, I guess.
Okay. You're stuck in the middle of the procession of the half a dozen of the guards and half a dozen behind you as they begin walking back. Ariel has been
so
taking you back down that corridor.
they just take Ariel.
They're currently walking away with her.
Um, how trustworthy is your kind in these kinds of situations, Torbran?
Just as in any society, it really depends on the individual. Though, I guess at least in a place of hierarchy, there's some level of expected decency.
They look at the guard. So, what about us? Do we just wait?
Well, I didn't get no orders about you.
So, can we go in? Can we follow?
I can't make that call. I'm just told to stand here and guard the door.
Well, pleasant guarding the door then. And I try to make my way past him.
He seems to not stop you.
Come on, let's pick up the pace. Let's at least keep Ariel in view wherever she's going.
Well, I guess that's it then. I will just sort of fling a piece of rock salt to the guard.
It just
Good
bounces
luck
off
on
the
your
helmet.
duty.
Ping! He wasn't paying attention. So looks at it on the floor, and you just see behind you. He bends over, goes for it. You do hear echoing as you go down this corridor. Just that coming back from further down the entrance. You watch as the dwarf pushes whatever button had been pushed beforehand as his companion returns, and the two of them let the door close behind them, sealing them outside. This corridor, you walk past 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 open portcullises, and as the last of you leave, you hear as each one in turn begin to close behind you before the doorway begins sealing itself as the rock begins to come to. And as it seals itself, the only thing you can just denote that this is an exit is just an archway carved into the side, just as it was on the other. Otherwise, it would look like completely natural cave wall. You find yourself in an enclosed room, but this is no room. This is a garden without the light plantations, but potted. Small sets of minerals and ores shining in all grades of colors, almost arrayed, stored in such an array as to perhaps mimic plant wildlife. You see purple pots, red in hues, whites with pink gems scattered throughout. As this gemstone garden before you winds around in a rather unergonomic design, but a beautiful display of craftsmanship and stonework, as the footpath below you is unmistakably dwarven craftsmanship. The walls lined have shifted from cave stonework to straight, smooth, almost like alabaster finished dwarven masonry. The room no taller than 8 feet in height, but is vast and open. The air here is thicker, but heavier, and the sound of active noise, turbulences, echoing down the corridor before you as you begin following after the dwarves who are still marching off with Ariel. Ariel, as you're being led by this procession, the first things that you would sort of begin to see is you come out of what you could only describe as some kind of street, a couple of steps up, and you suddenly look out over a bizarre 2, 3-tiered marketplace, with each to your left and right alcoves and hallways and stonework, supporting beams galore. Not quite the Mines of Moria, but that kind of aesthetic design towards it.
Mm-hmm.
And you see in the center a carved out, beautiful, flowing watered fountain. As you can see, usually where the water would escape out the bottom, you can actually see it seems to be receding upwards before falling down once again. You can just see that there's this tube in the center. A
Ooh.
little bit of a Fey enchant, perhaps.
Yep.
One that you've seen before in the Feywilds. Backwards flowing water is quite, not too dissimilar to where you're used to. But it seems to be the figurehead of this chamber itself. This atrium-like area is bustling of, for what you realize, is probably the first time you've ever seen dwarven women, whilst also plenty of dwarven men. You realize they must be women, though their beards are just as long as the men's. Welcome to Orcrop, or, as the locals call it, Crag Keep. As you're being escorted through this third tier, as you are currently on, you find yourself being led along the chambers, you sort of get lost a little bit. Your sense of direction not the best as you're taking in all of this new information. You find yourself going down a stairway. The rest of the party is sort of stumbling after you whilst also observing all this, I assume. You're not stopping to
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
browse
Nope.
unawares. You find yourselves following down the stairway, and you're being led into what is the ground floor. At the very end of this ground floor, you take a left at the end of the steps, and you see a looming, towering shape just coming out of the stonework almost. Out of all of the building's designs here, you can see that this is itself the most grandiose building. And for doorways, you can see large, not wooden, but shaped like wooden, stone shaped like wood, that are currently held ajar by two hulking like ogres standing on the left and right hand side. Both of them standing about 8 to 10 feet tall, as you realize this is a 3-story dwarven building that you're about to go into.
Okay.
As you enter in, the party behind, as you approach, the doors begin closing after the last dwarf of the convoy enters in, as the two ogres are pulling the heavy doors to. What do you do?
To be enough time for us to enter without being squished.
You want to run on through? You can certainly try.
Sure, why not?
Okay.
Yeah, let's go.
Torburn picks up the pace, goes for a full dwarven
Oi,
sprint.
oi. Gotta make the door.
You run through the legs of one of the ogres. Salothar, Voldreth?
Yeah, I follow through. I follow
Oh.
Torben.
Excuse me.
Salothar, you are
Yes.
feeling a great hand on your shoulder. So your two companions seem to run into the chamber. You, however, are stopped. The doors
Uh,
close.
I look at whoever's stopping me.
It's the hand of one of the door ogres.
Door ogres.
Humans not allowed.
Oh, you know, dwarf.
Yeah.
This be dwarf
Figure,
house.
figured as much. And I respectfully take a step back, cross my arms, and just wait.
You just feel like pushed as much as you are stepping back.
uh,
The doors
raising my
close.
hands, sure.
The ogres stand there, arms crossed. The awkward
So,
standoff begins.
you guys just wait here all day and open and close the door? That's it?
The slightly bigger not one is talking.
Yes. And asking you a question.
You speak quickly.
Do you just wait here all day?
Yes.
Do they pay?
What's pay?
Do they give you thing?
They give me club to hit things that aren't dwarf with. Are you not dwarf?
Not the kind you'd have to hit.
Huh. Meanwhile, on the inside.
This reminds me of the Atom thing from back in the
This is so adorable.
On the inside. This is the most well-lit room you have seen so far. To say Torbern's campfire It's usually well made, it's sturdy, it's easily quite robust. A wind's not blowing it around. But to describe the open coal pit before you, it's like Torbran's campfire, but he had, a couple of weeks to build it. As this huge spit of what looks like some kind of creature, you don't quite know what creature it is slowly rotating in the middle over this huge, easily 10 feet by sort of 7 or 8 feet diameter pit in the middle of this room. Along the sides, columns, balustrades. This is inspired, or in fact very similar to the marketplace itself, but it's an enclosed area. And you can see at the end, with several steps going upwards, a large, unmistakable throne. And the only thing that is more noticeable in this room than the grandiousness of this throne is the gargantuan size of the individual sat upon it.
Wow. What does this individual look like?
A long set of flowing hair that Ariel would probably recognize immediately as definitely not natural to this creature.
Okay.
Billows out over the left and right shoulder, a huge regal attire of flowing red, black, and blue robes with a white laced belt across the waist. Although, to say waist, it's quite hard because all you can see is just the rotund belly of this creature, who you realize is now definitely not dwarven. In fact, looks very akin to the two ogres that were outside.
Okay.
As the dwarves lead you in a procession up towards this creature, they change formation and stand behind you and all go into a slight bow. The dwarf leading you. As Torbran and Voldreth, are you sort of just observing this at a distance, or are you attempting to get closer?
I'll wait for.
Voldreth?
I'll observe from the distance.
Okay. This thing looks down, and you see she sort of picks like a large bone out of her mouth, and she's sort of messing around cleaning her teeth with. Well, what have you brought me today? The dwarf leading the procession looks up rather gingerly, says, we found this one at the rear entrance, my lady. You just see the mass begin to shift forward in its chair as it looks down at you. It's sat on this throne, probably 6 or 7 feet high compared to the floor level of where you are, but this creature is at least 15 feet tall in the chair.
Wow.
As she looks down, her neck sort of careening, but you can just see there is lots of skin folds in this individual. As she looks down towards you, or you assume, as it is a rather feminine but deep voice that does respond, and just says, "And what is it?" It's from. It says it's from the Fae, lady. Cragkeep. Ah, have you come to collect a debt?
No, but
Ah,
I am with someone who would do business with you.
you come from the Fae on a business opportunity. I see.
Not exactly. I come from Port Kiln on a business opportunity.
Well, just as well. I thought for a minute you were gonna say the Mad One sent you. As she rolls up her sleeves and she sort of takes a much more relaxed approach in her chair.
No, no.
Ugh. she waves a hand, and you watch as a load of dwarves bring out a large silver platter that takes at least 6 dwarves to carry, and you can just see there's a mountain of meat on it. She begins to just start ticking into. Well, what brings you to my humble abode?
I'm really not the one who should be doing this kind of discussion, but I understand that we are looking for a special kind of metal alloy that only you guys have, and our employer, I guess, wants to get access to it regularly. So you would be
Oh,
trading
I
with him.
see, I see. Oh, which one of you's on the trading committee? You can handle this. I thought this was going to be worth my time. Guards, ensure she's negotiated with well. Second floor privileges. I want
Second
more
floor
meat.
privileges. Thank you.
The guards begin to slowly dissipate, not escorting you, but the individual sort of looks at you and is just like, move along.
Okay, okay. I gently step out of the way. That was kind of terrifying, but like low key terrifying.
In the hall of Crag Keep, 2 dwarves and a changeling find themselves the opportunity to mingle with the aristocracy leaders and ne'er-do-wells who inhabit these halls.
Is Aria remaining in the same room? Or is
Nah, she's
she...
gonna get out to where they're directing her to go.
Okay. He's sort of the guardsman is sort of pointing you in towards the staircase you can see that's leading up to what you presume is the second balcony.
Okay.
Upon seeing her leave, I will tap the nearest guard, I guess, on the shoulder. Like, we're with her.
Well,
Our-
she's going upstairs. He looks at you like, what do you want me to do?
What do you want?
All right. I'll just start strolling my way towards the stairs.
All right. You watch as the guard procession stands in front of the exiting door. So Lothar, on the outside, what's the
Oh man.
the ogre looks
Yeah,
down?
hold up.
This one's not clean. As he says that, the doors begin to open from the inside, and the conga line of dwarves begins to march out towards you.
So, can I go join the rest of my traveling companions inside, or do I wait out here?
He's talking too quick again. Let me. And he just seems to forget his next words.
So I look at the dwarves. Do I go in? Do I stay? At least, let me know what I'm supposed to do.
The dwarf just looks back at you, just like, we're going to the barracks.
Is there nobody in charge?
Yeah, he's inside, and he points inside.
Can you tell your magnificent godsman over here to let me go inside, talk to my companions, and to whoever's in charge?
The last guard just looks up at them and go, "This one, dwarf." Oh, he funny dwarf. I told you he funny dwarf. The other one says, he dirty dwarf. Stay away from dirty dwarf. And the one who put you his hand looks, I touched dirty dwarf. Begins like cleaning his hand. The doors are
Yeah.
closing as
Oh
you
my god.
go on the inside.
I love it.
That's precious.
As I walk in, I look at the dwarf that touched me and tell him, "Careful now, you might turn into a dwarf by tomorrow."
No, I don't want to be dwarf. What would Mom say?
And I pass him by and go in and try to find the rest of my companions.
So now that you've given this one like an absolute panic attack. You can just hear on the outside like screams as the doors close, and there's an ogre who is now having a mental breakdown. I wonder what will happen to the bazaar. That'll be interesting. We'll find out when the doors next open. You are led up the stairs, Ariel, on the inside of this
Yes.
chamber. I will say very shortly followed and rejoined by your kin. But just before you do
Mhm.
so, this dwarf walks you over and is seemingly like counting doors on the left and the right. And you realize you've sort of staircase itself has doubled back up on itself onto the promenade, looking over that chamber. You're at about this height on this second floor is where the height of the spit of this creature that's in the middle stops. So it's that tall, right?
Wow.
And he's counting doors on your left, looking into the wall, heading in the direction of the throne. But as he gets to but one close away from it, there's a further door towards the end of the wall. But he stops just shy and goes, "I think who you're looking for isn't there. What was the name again?"
My name?
No, his name.
His name? The person we were sent by?
Yes, yes.
Phineas.
No, no, no. Who did that? Who are you looking to see today?
I don't know.
He knocks loudly on the door and then steps away as the rest of your troop at this point see you. The door opens. A small hand, in comparison to what you've been seeing, ungauntleted, pulls back the door, and you just see as like a monocled eye curves around the doorway and looks in your direction.
Hello.
Door closes. You just hear bolts and chains moving before the door opens, and you see standing before you is what you could only describe as the most steampunk dwarf you have ever laid eyes upon. There
Nice.
are bits and contraptions everywhere on this individual. And as you realize, the thing that catches your eye is the torso, right arm, and head are the only thing where clothing is upon. The left arm, both legs, and the waist down are almost like a brass golden exoskeleton.
Wow.
I heard
Hello.
I'd name you your best get inside before questions get asked.
Do I know that Torbjorn and Voldred are behind me?
I will say at this point they all sort of departed.
They came
reformed.
together. So yeah. Then let's all
Oh,
enter.
thank God you're okay.
Yeah, it was okay. I assume she thought like I assume they had dealings with the bad fae.
Ah,
I
we'll
see.
get to that. Is the human running up the stairs looking lost for you as well?
Yeah. He's
You
also a
realize the
companion.
monocle is like looking at the wall inside here, and it's just seemingly following
Oh
you all.
wow, that's nifty.
The door opens a little bit. He sticks his head out, and then Lothar, you just see a dwarf like with a monocle on that's seemingly like sprung up over his head at the moment, gesturing you into a doorway.
How many corners can you put next to a corner? Oh, okay, there you are.
He closes the door. You watch on the inside. There is like a dozen chains, a couple of bolts, and just makes the door safe. A very humble abode stands before you, but this is a workshop with a bed in it, and unfortunately, you see a lavatory in the corner, and you do just see sort of like a kitchen space. This is like a bachelor's university one-bed apartment. He turns around and says, "I don't really respond well to lies. Who sent you, and what for?"
Uh,
Before we start, Are
You
you
wanna?
Gus Lighthorn?
At your service. And as he does that, you just hear like ping pong as like a couple of things bottle off his armor, and you just bits hit the floor and stuff.
Oh, thank God we finally found you.
He's just like, oh, shit.
Ah,
He bends down,
it's a
tries
bit
to
of
screw something
a
into his shoulder joint.
it's a bit of a long story actually how we got here. Where do we begin?
You
This,
retail the
the name
narrative.
Phineas Steel Sprocket ring a bell. Borkale.
Is he collecting his debt?
I'm not aware of any debt, so probably best to skip past that subject.
Cool. Well, yeah. What debt? What debt?
Although
What debt? Where do I have for debt? No.
name Stormbrand, Rumbleshot. Apology.
Hmm.
We were sent here by find you and negotiate for a supply route for. I was sort of grabbing out galvanium alloy. Never heard of it.
He just looks a little dumbfounded and goes, "Oh shit, outsiders. Okay, galvanium." As he raises his human arm, realizes, and then raises his mechanical arm.
I assume that's galvanium.
Yeah. Not super
That explains a lot.
purified, but what we can work with, yeah. Still working on refinement process, but raw form, we've got plenty of it. Recent discovery, actually. It's quite under wraps. Not many know about it. Bit surprised he's got word of it.
Well, I'm not aware of those details, unfortunately. What I am aware of, however, is that Phineas is to set up a supply line for. Let me grab my note. 200 tons of galvanium alloy arranged to Phineas by the end of the year.
End of the year. Right.
That's what I was told.
And how's it going to be commuted?
I guess that's what we're here to discuss.
Figure out, yeah.
Sure. We could do transportation circle if you were to pay for 5 times the value. We could have it ready for surface collection at 2 times the value if you wish for skyships, or we could have a base value if you just wish for naval vessels. See, the price really differs because it's how we get it from, well, the refining room to wherever you're collecting it from. That's where most of the time's involved.
I see. You're the expert here. What would you suggest?
Well, easiest is if
Let-
you can do ring of transportation, but that's obviously the most expensive. So
Is there any
What
way
am
for us to ask Phineas what he would prefer? Or do you just know him well enough that you would know what he would prefer?
you say this to Gus.
And I say this to Torbran.
what guarantee can you make for each transportation type reaching that 200-ton quota
Oh, 100%.
for each of the three? So if we
We
do 200
currently
tons over
have
naval vessels
we
by the end of
currently
the year,
have a mountain full of the stuff. We have the
that sounds.
goods.
What would the value of 200 tons of galvanium be?
Well, at base rate, and you watch as he turns to a a set of abacuses stored on the side, and he begins moving them around, and you can just see parchments and notes, and you can just see, right, well, hundreds of hours of labor there, cheap labor, maybe we could do a difference. Right, okay, so their full value are right, okay, so if we were to factor in, and he just begins muttering to himself constantly, and it's just like a madman explaining a conspiracy theory to himself.
Oh man.
You really do take similarities to Phineas.
You say what? He stops, turns around, look. Why'd you
I'll
interrupt
say
me?
you look. You're similar to Phineas. Apologies. Carry on.
Yeah, I have to start from the beginning now. Right, well, carry the one, take the two, and it resets the abacus and goes again.
I will go to Lothar. I used to do this back in the day to Phineas as well. It's kind of funny to just interrupt him every now and then.
Didn't Phineas, speaking of, didn't Phineas give you any sort of details on the kind of trade he prefers? Is it to be picked up by your ship?
Is there
Setting up with
anything
a
about it on the note?
The note is otherwise blank.
Nope. Which means he probably wants it as cheaply as possible.
Okay, fair enough. But how does this work? Do we go back and give him a positive answer?
Well, that depends on what this genius over there is trying to calculate out. If he can guarantee us that he can make that delivery, then we'll ensure
Did he
that
give
he
you any
writes.
sort of means to actually talk, back?
Well, I mean, we're here in Phineas' name, so if we can strike a deal, and we can bring back a promise or contract of set deal, then the rest is up to Phineas. Apparently, this guy has some sort of debt. I don't know. I'm not aware of it. Maybe Phineas can leverage that for payment. Up to them.
So I'll just do the cheapest deal possible.
As long as it's within parameters of that Phineas gave us, which is 200 tons, end of the year. Whatever is
Okay.
cheapest to be able to make that. I guess that's what I would be going for.
Okay.
He turns around and says something that you're not expecting. Perhaps a value of gold, even gold skull coins, even gems, quantities. He turns around and says to you, give or take 10 years or so. At base rate, we're talking 112 years and 5 terms.
What?
Apologies. I'm not sure I understand what you mean by that. Are we not talking about currency here?
Yeah, indebted age, yes.
I will just sort of grow large eyes and I will look at Ari. I was like, remember that mine?
I didn't I definitely already forgot what he just said.
I was just
Not
I
sure
was
if
just sort of
roleplay or character.
Both. No, like with the -1 intelligence, she doesn't remember shit.
I will just sort of nod at Voldred's pickaxe. You remember where we
Uh,
got that?
yeah,
This
but
explains a lot.
does it really? Does it?
They are taking payment in spent years.
Ah. Hmm. Yeah, I see.
So let me get this straight. You do not deal in coins, gold, gems, currency, physical currency.
Well, we used to. And then the good lady, he who will not speak ill of her name, took to the throne.
I see. How long ago was that?
What year is it? Sorry,
I mean,
DM's
it's
just
4 years
realized the player's got to
before.
figure it out.
It's the 96th year beyond the ruination.
Yes, it
Is that
is.
does that mean it's year 96?
For all intents and purposes, we're not going to faff around with anything else.
BR.
It will be B for ruination, and therefore it is the year 96. Yes.
Right.
So that's what.
96,
Nice.
I believe.
Yeah. Oh. Like something just comes across his face, just like a dawning of realization. And he's like, huh. 4 years to the big moment then. All
Aye,
right.
aye.
We'll have to
What
speed up
big moment?
production. Okay. Oh, no, nothing. I will say, you see, we don't really get outsiders that often, and communication is quite restricted for only the Watchers for other transportation and other resource acquisitions, etc. from lands afar. But we're mostly a self-contained enterprise here. You see.
I see. So how would you suggest we go about payment for what would be considered export?
Well, as I just said, the base rate would be 112 years and 5 terms. So if you wanted to make that the premium service, then with the teleportation circle, we would make that at least, let's see, 560 years with 25 terms.
Explain these terms to me. What is a term?
Term of arrangement.
I still don't quite follow.
Terms and conditions.
Right,
Additional
so
notes that must be upheld and acknowledged for the contract, etc., etc.
so when you say 112 years and 5 terms,
Yes.
what do the 5 terms entail? Is that 5 additional?
Rules of contract. Yes.
Right. That's kind of vague. That can be anything.
Well, that's
Is that
the
even
point.
for how many people would that take?
Well, that's for you to choose and divvy up.
So if we get 112 people,
Be
we'll
1 year
get like 1
for all
year
of them.
per person.
Yeah.
Okay.
I see.
Do you think Phineas has a bunch of people in Port Kiln who'd be willing to give up a year just for money?
You have no idea how desperate or destitute
No,
people
Phineas, he
can
probably
think.
does. Is there any monetary value assigned to these years of service?
I mean, I don't know. You'd have to.
I assume like a single person, like a single year of working from an average person would be able to give you a certain return of goods, which would have a monetary value outside of ore crop.
You probably realize at this point, like the monocle. Initially, if you weren't paying attention, it's like just sort of hanging on its extended arm outstretched. But it's actually just sort of, instead of resting, it's been focused on you, Ariel, and it's sort of like
Mm-hmm.
every now and again just turning, looking specifically at you. And at this point, he sort of turns and looks to you and just says, "My apologies. Fayborn, yourself. I assumed all of you were familiar."
No, no, just me.
Well, let's not get into details, but I vaguely
We've all
understand what you mean. The years and terms. It's not something we're used to for trade deals.
Well, you obviously don't trade with the Fae very often, then.
No, we don't. Well, I don't.
Well,
I've generally recommended my allies to not trade with the Fae. Doesn't mean they listen to me, but that's what I've told them.
since the lady rose to power a couple of generations back. They've been our largest export partner.
I see.
So we have an agreement if we deal with the terms, and they have a 50-50 stake on the allocation of terms. We get the remaining half, and we offer up the service for them effectively to collect or pay debts on others. It's really like a grandiose debt collection service where you can
Mhm.
I see.
sell your owed time with a resource.
So how much time are you owed to Phineas?
Me or the colony?
Both?
Both.
Uh, I don't know total for the colony. A rough idea would probably be a few thousand years. But for myself personally, it's about a decade and a half, I reckon, in 3 terms, I think.
By colony, you mean the entirety of our crop, or
Crapkeep.
right? So what you're saying is that debt we could pay for this supply route by subtracting from that debt.
The credit, yeah.
I think that settles it then.
Well, does it? Which method are you collecting on?
Can you guarantee end of year 200 tons of galvanium to Phineas in Park Hill using naval vessels?
If they're here in time, potentially. Guaranteed 100% ready in a month, teleportation circle.
What month is it currently?
The 2nd.
Out of 12?
Sure.
Yeah, why
For all
not?
intents and purposes. Sure.
For anyone
What
listening,
about
recording date
skyships?
3rd of February 2025.
What about skyships?
They would be at least 6 or 7 months.
That would be plenty of time.
You'd have to ensure that the skyships were here, and with 200 tons, I mean, that's at least. Well, last I heard, they had about a 50 tonnage capacity if they bore no arms. So it's going to be at least 4 trips.
Just to get this straight, who is arranging the transport for these goods? Is that
You're
Phineas?
collecting.
Right.
Okay, he looks at you and he goes, I see, right. Perhaps here's the miscommunication. The ore is in the mountain. Okay? It's in the mine.
Mm-hmm.
We extract it from the mine, place it into the refinement containment zone. From the refinement containment zone, we can either immediately send it through a ring of transportation, or we now have to get it out of that area of the mountain and take it to the surface. And as you can imagine, moving 200 tons takes time.
I see.
When
And
we
then
then get
once
to
it's
the
at
surface, it's going to be on the surface, which you will be then expected to ensure that we are guarding and safeguarding and watching around the clock so that it adds up to the timage, etc. So it's realistically a huge effort, but it's the reality where we're paying for the immediacy of the service of the ring, or you are paying for the labor. But we don't really guarantee the speed of it. But a year should be enough for the whole volume anyway, assuming your ships are here on time.
Yeah. One moment. I will turn back to the party. Skyships probably know what happened to the skyships.
Well, he only said he had 3.
Yeah, so one is out of the running, which means at least one ship will have to ferry twice. If it
Both will have
takes
to ferry
6.
twice. It's
Oh, there were 3
fit.
total.
Yeah, if they
Or
came 3 total, if they came naked, no armaments, 50-ton capacity
Fi-
per.
yeah, we need 200 tons. So at least one, and if they're going with just 2, then they would have to ferry twice. I will turn back around to Gus. What do you roughly know what the ferry time would be for a sky ship to go from Port Kiln to Orkrop back and forth?
If you look at the map, each
Yes.
tile on sea on a fast-moving vessel is half a day's travel.
So that's 10 tiles, that's 20 tiles. That's 10 days for a return trip, roughly.
On a fast-moving vessel. A sky ship, certainly consider a fast-moving vessel.
I
So
counted
that
11 tiles. Was I wrong?
it depends where you start in on Port Kiln, I guess.
To more
Yeah,
simplify it
fair.
down, you're talking there and back, there and back. We're sort of rounding it to there's a month of moving the produce of the
Mm-hmm.
goods once it's all up to the surface.
Mm-hmm.
What do you guys think? Naval
You're the deal
vessels.
maker. You're the deal maker.
Uh,
I don't know exactly what Phineas would or would not be okay with, and as much as I understand the laws of Port Kiln, I'm not entirely comfortable with people selling their life away.
Yeah,
Quite
it's really
literally.
trippy.
Well,
But again,
he already Phineas has a debt to pay for it, so nobody's actually getting behind bars for that. So to say. In fairness,
so
we're actually taking away sentences in that regard.
might as well in that case. But let's secure the transport, I suppose. At least the first one.
Phineas was
And
allied with the Mage Tower in Port Kill, wasn't
Yep.
he
He
was.
well, whether he hired them or whether he's applied pressure to them to get you here, you don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, yes, allied is a loose term, but do we have any means of contacting them?
he? No, we don't. Skyships might be the safest bet, actually.
I mean,
Do these people have a skyship?
Well,
you
he's.
think dwarves leave their homes other than the
I
homeless?
mean,
He points to you two.
I feel like maybe
fair
we
point.
could take one trip back to Porn Kiln, ask
Ha,
about all these details, and then get back here. Would
You
that
could,
be too wild?
if you, well, if you don't have a speaker with you,
Or
you
a
could ask with one of the
teleportation?
watchers.
Yeah.
ask for
Maybe
what?
we could pay for a sending to be done to Phineas.
The watchers could handle that.
By the way, listen, sir, you seem like someone who'd be good to ask about this. What's with the weird magic in this place?
Ah, which bit? He looks at you with a cocked
Uh,
head.
just the kind that doesn't let me do my magic.
Oh, um, well, you see, the ancient fortress is guarded by an awful lot of magical protection that still lingers after the first invasions.
No.
Things that was dealt to. Well, this fortress was built in the times as a bastion, I believe, a stronghold to hold out across when the demons had first set forth pouring onto the lands of the mortals.
Wait, so it's an actual,
Oh.
honest to the gods Crusaders outpost, is what you're saying.
Well, obviously, it was the dwarves that built it.
Evidently, well, didn't matter much at the time of the First Crusade who built it. I mean, dwarves built the old citadel. Back in what used to be Arling, too.
Of course. Everything worth its weight in stone has been built by a dwarf.
I'm not going to contradict you on that. But while we're here, are there any records, old records stored that I might consult?
Nothing that predates the lady's reign.
Wow.
Wait, how
She
so?
really changed a lot around here, didn't she? Don't some of you predate her reign?
No,
You
no,
are
no.
quite
She's
long-lived.
she's the oldest amongst us all.
Really?
Yeah, yes, absolutely. No one would ever question her.
So what do you mean by nothing that predates the lady's reign? Did she get rid of it?
No, she she started recording when she ascended to the throne.
Oh.
And he like makes a hand gesture towards his ear and like points to the door.
Hmm.
I would
I
just sort
see.
of casually stroll to one of his tables, grab a piece of paper and a
Scribble.
or a
Mhm.
pencil, and I would just sort of scribble like, "Do you want to get rid of her?" I will fold it up and I
Oh
will
my
hand it to him.
god.
No,
Aggressive.
I just shake my head.
No, you don't know what I read or what I wrote.
That's just the
Okay.
dwarf talking to the dwarf.
Okay.
Gus looks at you and is just like, have I shown you this yet? It's one of my proudest things that I earned here. And he uncocks the monocle as it leans over. You watch it's built onto like his shoulder plate, and he pulls it over so it outstretches over his body, so you could look through it and gaze through it. Do you look through the monocle? I suppose it's Torbran.
Yeah.
Okay. He angles it and points it in such a way where it winds down and ends up curving back. It's previously been locked onto Ariel, like homing, following her whilst he's been messing around with this, and then upon activation, it like goes limp, and then he cracks it to look towards the door. You see no door, but pinned, stacked 3 high, what you would only describe as like some kind of runt of a goblin, with another goblin and another goblin stacked with its ears leaning up, looking like that. And you can see in the immediate vicinity, there are no walls, there are no stones. You just see people, dwarves, milling about, going about whatever their business is, many leaning on the nothing from what you can see, and just looking over the balustrade, and you can just see the large spit turning in the center of the room outside. You occasionally see like a small rodent of sorts scurrying away high above you, just floating in midair, running along an invisible surface. It's my proudest thing when I earned this from retiring from the Watchers. It was a great gift bestowed upon very few. So, as he sort of like is palming the note that you've done and is just like ripping it to pieces without acknowledging it.
I see. It's beautiful. So I guess that means this is not for sale then.
Oh, the monocle, no. Over my dead body that I'm giving this to anyone.
I sort of let out a sigh. Take the hint. I'll just sort of nod at the note. That sale.
He's oblivious. He's not catching on. He's also now looking through the monocle at the door. So sorry, did we settle, or were you going to have a chat with the Watchers and see if we could call in a favor?
I was just sort of wave another piece of paper. Like, yes, no.
his eyes are like glaring.
Fair
Like
enough.
you're the one who's not catching on to the non-verbal communication that's going on here.
I see. All right. Where would we find a way to message Phineas? Contact him in any way?
So I just thought about it a little bit. I'm not entirely sure. This is off game, by the way. Are you able to cast to prepare third level spells, Aaron? Because then you could just prepare ascending, and we could reach Phineas very easily.
I don't have that spell.
You don't have that? Yeah, but you are not that level in cleric that you can't cast it. Is that what you're saying? Because if you are capable of casting third level spells as a cleric, you can prepare it.
I am, but I have no slots left.
Yeah, today, but we can do it tomorrow. Like it's easier than going all the way back to Port Kiln. So seems like a good idea. I don't know.
What are your magical folks blabbering about?
Blubber, 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 blubber. Techno babble, except it's Arcana babble.
Arcana babble.
Yes.
Can that become an official language? Arcana babble. Is that going to be all the voice memos for the spells? It's going to be said in Arcana babble.
Yeah.
Babblefish, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
All right. No, so Aaron, the point there is if you can choose what spells to prepare at the start of every day by being a cleric. So you're not locked into what you have got.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So
Paladins are I know this spell and that's kind of like it. And wizards are
Same for sorcerers as well.
Yeah.
Druids and wizards prepare like clerics.
Yes. So druids, wizards, and clerics, they're all like, I know these 10 spells and I'm gonna ready the components at a hand's notice to cast these 3 or 4.
And I will mention wizards work much harder for it than the divine casters. The divine casters just know the whole list.
Okay. Sick.
Yeah. So any spell that you could potentially pick, you have access to at a long rest notice.
Yeah.
Okie dokie. I did not know that. Thank you.
Okay. Well, Gus looks at you and says, if you need to go to the Watchers, I'm afraid you would have to go before the lady and seek her approval. She's very generous with whom she lets talk with the outsider world. You see, we have very restricted dealings typically, and
Well, we are already part of the outside world.
well,
So
yes, but I guess you haven't realized by now. How do you intend to leave?
wait. We're trapped here, is what you're trying to tell me.
Well, welcome to Crag Keep.
So you
Sort of says
just
to you very
detain people
nervously.
who walk in? Detain people who walk?
I don't. It's more like local policy.
Oh, great. So we need to talk to your lady about actually letting us leave to establish this trade.
Well, she would probably send you to the Watchers to communicate, and there would be no need for you to leave.
Okay. Why would we stay?
Well, how would you leave?
Walking out
We have to go get
exactly
the
the way
airships.
walking out exactly the way we came comes to mind.
There's no exit here.
What do you mean there's no exit?
There's no one leaves Cragkeep. It's just not done. He's like trying to be like non-verbally communicating to you all.
I'll just put a hand over Lothar's mouth, like, we understand. We're happy to stay. I'll just sort of nod Lothar out. I think we've discussed all that we need to discuss. We will find a way to contact our employer, and we will get back to you hopefully by tomorrow. Is that okay for you?
Yeah, sure, of course. I was probably turning in in a moment or two anyway. But I heard my name outside and was interesting when I was seeing who was coming to see me.
It was a pleasure. One final thing. Would you happen to know where we might be able to stay for the night?
I'm sure if you ask the probably one of the advisors, which hall's recently been refurbished.
Hole, of course.
Oh, well, dwelling. We just call them. It's dwarven short slang, Doesn't it doesn't translate well.
Does second story privilege mean anything to you?
Yes, it means you're allowed to talk to me.
Right, okay. Just making sure that that wasn't some sort of...
The watch is a third floor.
I see. Right, so we're not allowed up there.
No, not many people
All
are.
right. Very well.
So-
I think we know enough. You wanted
Right,
to say
okay.
something, Lothar?
He opens his mouth to say something, but then just shakes his head. This is not going to go anywhere.
All right.
He walks over to the door, but you can see he's looking intently through his monocle at it, and then he stops on the other side and just turns and goes to you. Right, well, I'm sure that wraps things up for now. I'll be opening the door in a moment. Okay, thanks for coming. And he then opens the door for you.
Magnificent.
Interesting place, Orkrop. I guess we'll see you
I
soon.
wouldn't say that around here loudly. It's Crack Keep on the inside.
Crack keep.
Crack keep.
Crack keep. Noted. Are we allowed back up here when we next come here?
Unless she revokes you privileges, yes.
Very well. All right, great. Was a pleasure.
Bye, have a nice time. Close the door.
Thank you.
You just hear all the
Oh,
chains
that
and
was-
manacles locking behind.
Let's get outside first. Let's not do any. I just start walking.
So,
Let's ask about the hole and then discuss things.
What hole?
He said
Or
we
we're-
should find a hole that's recently been refurbished to stay in for the night.
Right. Where would the advisors be?
So, as you look down,
Around.
as you look down at the throne, you can see Lady Cragkeep is snoring in the chair, and you can just sort of see, like, with her unconscious, the general demeanor of everyone else is far more relaxed. And you can just sort of see off on the side, there's a small table that backs onto the wall itself that you didn't really sort of pay attention to previously. And there seems to be like 3 or 4 dwarves who are just sort of like head in hands, defeated, a little bit gloomy looking, at least, to say the least.
I'll
They
look over the
sort of stick
the
out.
ledge.
Yep.
I recognize those anywhere. Probably them gloomy bastards. I was just
And-
sort of jolly hobble down the stairs.
And with further engagements and a short conversation, for a measly price of 10 gold skull coins, they
So they
ask,
do take payments.
certainly do here. Depends what you're trading, what resource you're offering. You put down your first month's rent on a recently refurbished hold, big enough for the 4 of you.
Oh, it's
That's
hold, not
10 gold.
hole.
10 gold pieces
10 gold pieces.
Wow.
for a whole month.
After a little bit of an escort from one of these individuals who introduces himself as a Galvin Smitehammer, he takes you to along one of the streets of the market bazaar that you were on previously, narrows out, and you realize it is bazaar after bazaar after bazaar after bazaar. It is just a merchant city here, effectively. The only thing that seems confusing is pretty much if it's a self-contained economy, who's trading with who for what? The thought comes across the more intellectual of you. Though, after a backstreet after a backstreet after backstreet is taken, you find yourself at a small dwelling that is single-storied, and you just see it's a locked door. A silver key is handed to you, and it is a door made of stone that looks, once again, more like wood in aesthetic, and a very small room, not too dissimilar to the room you just spent the last sort of half an hour in with Gus, lays before you, though you can see inside there are 2 beds, a small set of amenities, and a cooking space.
Cozy enough. I will hand the bloke 10 gold and take the key.
So
Okay.
I'm curious because I still don't have a proper answer to this. Are we forbidden to leave, or is this place just enchanted in such a way that we can't, even if we have everybody's proper permission?
Are you saying this to Galvin?
No, the
Oh,
Torbern.
you're communicating with your party.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Your guess is as good as mine. I don't think I've had the pleasure of being run, I
Ariel?
guess I will say, by a... Would the lady look more like an ogre?
He seemed like one, just from the
So
She
size of
seemed
her.
ogres are large. Something that large you would have not really thought about, but having recently just come into close proximity to 4 of them, you would realize she is more of a giant.
Mm.
But with the very strange thing that's going through your head is she didn't look like any of those giants, but she definitely had the stature and mass of one,
Mm-hmm.
but did look very much like a large ogre.
Yeah.
Well, it's the first time I've seen someone like that on a throne, so I don't know what they're trying to achieve here in Orkrop. If possible, I'd like to not stay for any longer.
then we have to, yeah, so
Fear we might be staying longer than we would like to.
Ariel, you seem to have some sort of preference when it comes to negotiating with her.
No. She just assumed that I would be on behalf of one faction in the Feywild, and I'm not. And that is the only thing that keeps happening to me. The
Sounds
Feywild
like
is
you.
is as complex politically as the material realm. There are
Oh.
factions,
Maybe you
people
should consider
fighting.
swapping factions. You would have some leverage.
No, what are you talking about? I would
Reroll
never
horde!
betray my
Reroll
queen.
horde!
No.
I miss the Dominion.
Of course you do.
Say whatever you want about the Order, but at least they're straightforward when it comes to trade and politics.
Have you ever considered, not leaving the Dominion?
Yeah, ever since I've left.
Nice.
You know there's ships going back there, right?
I do, but
At least you have a home left.
no, not really. And the one I found, I left behind as well. Still, no place to dwell on that now. Right now we need to figure out how the hell we get out of here.
Well, this dwelling seems like the perfect place to dwell on anything.
I mean, we're
All
a
right.
bunch of foreigners that just got housed here. Assume every word we're about to say is going to be listened to and probably reported back.
And with that, the secret
Way
police
to kill the
listening in
mood.
to the phone tap, we will end tonight's session. Thanks very much for playing, everyone.
Thank
Mhm.
you for having us, Rachel.
Thank